Happiness. The word itself brings a smile on our face, isn't it? Yes, of course. Happiness is something that means different to different people. That means people have different perceptions for happiness. To one, it can mean to serve their parents or grandparents well. That brings happiness to them, right? Similarly, some people think that helping the ones who are in need, that brings them happiness. For example, you can think about a person or any being who has come like outside your door, and he or she is knocking and saying that, ma'am, also may I get water? I'm really thirsty. It's been around 24 hours since I've not drink any water. Can you please give me a glass of water? I'll be really happy to have that. For example, if somebody comes at your door knocking it and saying these words, and you feel really like, oh my goodness, I should help them up, and by helping them you actually feel very relaxed, you feel really happy from within, right? So maybe this is something called happiness for some people. Sometimes feeding street dogs or feeding street cats can make someone happy. It makes people happy. Few people do not, they just go away and they do not look around these like street dogs or cats. But yes, there are few people who actually feel very pity for these beings, and they help them up, and they feel very happy from inside. So you can understand that happiness, the definition of happiness depends on each and every person, the way he or she looks the world around him or her, or the kind of feeling that arise in them, after seeing the different situations. So happiness has different definitions for different people. Even for a single person, if you see a single man, even if you take your own example, you must have remembered that there were few things. For example, if somebody would have bring you a piece of chocolate, or maybe one chocolate has been given to you when you were very, you can say, young, in your childhood days, you felt really happy, or your happiness was at another level when someone has surprised you with a chocolate. Maybe that was the happiness for you at once. But right now, as you have grown into an adult, you are 20 plus, so now bringing a chocolate, giving it to you, I don't think so that would be the same kind of excitement would be there inside you, right? So happiness actually changes, you can say, for a single person itself along with the time, right? So isn't it really interesting to know that what is the real definition of happiness? I mean, from where does the real happiness comes from? If we talk about each and every being present on the earth, right? Especially the human beings, we are humans. Everyone must know this, that yes, we are humans. Everyone knows this very well. We should know that where does the actual happiness comes from, and we're always like thinking about it, that where does the real happiness is actually lying, and what is it that we don't know about. Well, I got the answer. I'm really very happy to tell you this, that real happiness is what I found in one of the books of Swami Vivekananda ji, and that is what I'm going to share with you today. I guess this will help you to know and to understand that what is real happiness. If happiness is so many things for different people, people have different perceptions about happiness, who is the actual person who can tell you what is real happiness, which is beyond all of these worldly pleasures or the things that you see around yourself, right? Instead of finding the happiness which is outside, you should find it within, is what Swamiji says. And through this, let's dive deep into this video to actually understand what is the real happiness. So let's explore it. Swamiji says that true happiness does not come from outside things like money, people, or physical comfort. That means the things that you see around yourself. That means the things that we call as the materialistic things. For example, the bicycle that you liked in your childhood, right? The cars that you're dreaming of to buy, the luxurious house that you see in the television. Okay, everything that you see around yourself, which is made up of a material, which is a matter. So those materialistic things, that doesn't give us true happiness, is what Swamiji says here in this line. Next, we move on to the next line of it, that what Swamiji actually thinks is true happiness. He talks about the happiness that animals feel about, like what is happiness for animals, what is it for human beings, and what is actually the true happiness. So here he says that animals find happiness in their senses, while humans in their intellect or their thoughts. But the real joy comes from the soul and the spiritual contemplation. So this is very important line here, that he says the true happiness comes from the soul. That means yourself, the Atma, which is there inside you, the soul, the main thing which is there. And with the spiritual contemplation. So, what is spiritual contemplation? See, the word is kind of fancy, but the meaning is very simple and easy. Spiritual contemplation refers to the deep thinking or, deeply meditating about the three things. The first thing is your soul, that is the soul. You are thinking about that. Second is the God, that is the higher power that you believe in and that you think is the one which is the creator of this whole world or the universe. Okay. The last thing is the nature. That means the things that you see around yourself, the birds, the animals, the plants, the mountains, the rivers, the valleys, everything that you see around yourself, that is included in the nature. So when a person is actually thinking about all of these three things deeply and he's just meditating about these three things and trying to connect the dots between the three, so that is the time when you get the true happiness according to Swamiji. So through his life experiences and all, he says that this is where the true happiness is lying and this is where people are going to get the true happiness. So this was one of the most important line of today's video that you have to understand. Okay. Next, Swamiji compares a person who seeks for happiness to a bullock, okay, to a bull or an ox, you can say, who is running around circles to chase a bundle of straw that has been, you can say, there is kept in front of the bull or the ox. Okay, so just like an ox or a bull who is running around circle and circle to chase that bundle of straw or to chase that bundle of grass, similarly the person or the people in this world are trying to chase the happiness, and that is not the correct way. That is not the way how you will get the true happiness, said by Swamiji. Next, he says, real happiness lies within us. That is in the self. That is in your Atma. And not in temporary pleasures that you see outside of yourself. We cannot add or remove happiness from the world. It's just that it shifts from one form to another. Just like, in chemistry and physics, I have studied because I have completed my, my secondary education from CBSE board. And yes, I've studied, my subjects were like physics and chemistry. So I know one of the principles which is, true to this nature, that is energy can never be created nor be destroyed. Okay. Similarly, happiness can neither be created nor be destroyed, just like energy. So happiness always converts its form from one form to another. It's get converted. And also one more very important line is that we can never add or remove happiness from this world. This is a very important line. It always changes from one form to another. Okay, very true line which is being said here. Nextly, he says, happiness and sorrow are both the parts of life. You can say it's like the two parts of the same coin. Just like if you see a coin, there is a heads and there is tails. Okay, so both of the faces of this coin are a part of the coin. Similarly, if you consider your life as a coin, okay, then happiness and sorrow are both the parts of life, which usually comes one after the other. You must have heard from your grandparents or your parents saying that after happiness comes the sorrow, and that is the real thing. Okay, that is true. According to Vivekananda ji, we should never seek happiness or fear sorrow, but we should rise above both. This is very important, that we are such important creatures in this world, okay, who are above happiness and sorrow. And let me tell you guys, he emphasizes on this, that true peace and true freedom comes only when we realize ourselves. Okay, it happens only when you have the ability to realize yourself. Okay, that is who you are. So when you are on a path of understanding that who you are actually, so that is the place where you actually get your real happiness or the true happiness. So this was the essence of this whole video, which was actually talking about the true happiness that one can get. Okay, and this was all based on the teachings of Swami Vivekananda ji. I hope you understood this. So what did you learn today, or what did we learn today? Stop chasing happiness just like that bull was chasing the straw. You need to understand this, guys, that we are not animals, we are not bull, we are not ox, we are not cow, we are not buffaloes. We are pure divine soul. We are the human beings who have their mind and body to understand the things which are there around us. So do not chase happiness just like that bull was chasing the straw. It is not in money, not in Netflix, and not even in the chocolate cake that we like so much. Okay, maybe just a little bit, but that's not true. We all know that. In reality, the real happiness, it's inside you, sitting quietly and waiting for you to notice it. So pause, breathe, and smile. And remember what Swamiji said. Don't run after happiness, become it. If this video made you smile or helped you see happiness a little differently, feel free to drop a like or a comment and write your own definition of happiness there. And if you'd like to stay connected, you're always welcome to subscribe. No pressures at all, just positive vibes. And hey, before you go, remember this. A little bit of my happiness came from sharing this moment with you. So take care. Till then, goodbye, and I'll see you in the next one.